Hello everybody! Alright, so today I want to make an updated version of the what's better, AD or AP Shaco, or in general when to pick AD and AP Shaco, because a lot of people have been asking me again recently, even though I already have a video about this, which is still up to date, but I thought maybe it's time to just make a new one. Now, the first question that probably all of you have is what's better, AD or AP Shaco? And you guys are probably not going to like this answer, but honestly, it really depends. It depends on enemy team comp, it depends on your team comp, and it also kind of depends on what elo you play in. Now, as a general rule of thumb, I would say that AP is like AD is like 1% better. It's hard to say because AD Shaco is only better because he has stronger early game, and especially right now, where AD Shaco is able to farm his jungle pretty well because of the box buffs. He just kind of accelerates a bit faster. He has early game damage that AP doesn't have, so he can take over the game quite a bit faster, and he doesn't fall off so very hard anymore. But AP is also really strong, but again, I think it depends more on enemy team comp and your team comp. But I'm going to explain that right now. So, when do you pick AD, when do you pick AP? Now, AD Shaco I would genuinely want to pick if the enemy team is rather squishy. If the enemy team has mostly ranged champions and we're all squishy, for example something like a Quinn top lane, or Syndra mid lane, or enemy Caitlyn AD carry, maybe like a Janna support, these champions are super easy to one-shot on AD Shaco, and that just makes it a lot easier to, take out a game and carry in the late game. Now, into something like tanks, or champions that want to engage into you, that basically only win the game if they try and kill you and try to hunt you down and get really up close and personal and stuff. That's probably an AP angle, if you ask me, because you can basically stand on top of your boxes and bait them into them, because they literally have to engage, otherwise they cannot win. So into those type of champions and comps, AP is probably the better choice. Now, what do you do when the enemy team doesn't really have a distinct orientation of when it comes to team comp? So if they have like a mixture of squishy champions but also engage. Now in that case, it comes down to either preference, so you can basically pick whatever you feel more comfortable with, whether that is AP or AD, doesn't really matter, or you can make it based onto your team comp. So if your team comp is very AD heavy, if you have a lot of assassins or very a couple of AD champions and just not enough AP damage, then you can go AP obviously. Now if your team has a lot of AP damage, you can, you can just go AD. It's obviously, these rules that I'm giving you guys, or these pinpoints or key points, they're obviously not applicable to every game, and not every game is there going to be a clear answer to what's better. But I think this gives you guys the right direction to start adapting your own pattern recognition, I call it, because eventually over time you will understand when to go what playstyle, because you just know the playstyle in and out, and you know what I can do in what team comp and what I can't do in, against a certain team comp. So the third pinpoint would be it also depends on the jungle matchup. So into certain jungle matchups it is really hard to go AD Shaco, and into certain matchups it's hard to go AP Shaco, even though AP Shaco doesn't really get countered much. So examples like this are Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is disgustingly annoying for AD Shaco because she can see you when you're invisible. What that means is, if Rek'Sai is buried, she can basically sense enemies that are nearby that are moving. She has this sonar sense. So whenever you try and queue in to kill the enemy backline and Rek'Sai is burrowed, she basically just spots you and the enemy team can turn on you and you're pretty much dead. So in that case, usually it's better to play AP, especially because Rek'Sai is also forced to get up close and personal. You can dodge her R with your R, and she has to jump in on you, which, could be trapped with a million boxes. So in that case, usually AP is better. Also into something like Karthus, I prefer AP, because you can match his power farm, and in late game you can basically just pop your clone, run it into him, and he has to stop using his E. But yeah, against most matchups you're fine with both. So I'm going to go over my OPGG here. It's currently Grandmaster 384 LP. Not too impressive. I'll get challenger soon, hopefully. But yeah, I'll go through a couple of games and then I'll tell you why I went to certain playstyle I did. So in this game, for example, this is a really good example. The enemy team comp is Jace, which is a squishy range champion, and it's easy to one-shot. Volibear, who's pretty tank that has to go in. And Diana is also a very engage-heavy champion. Then Seraphine is somebody who you can usually one-shot, and then Leona, another tank that has to go in. So as you can see, they're both very mixed in terms of, they're all very mixed in terms of what they want to achieve. Jace is more of a poke, and Seraphine is more of a poke, and also kind of like, she helps set up engages. So their team comp is, I guess you could say it's more engage-heavy. Now the problem is, we would pick AP here for sure, right? But in that case, I have a Rumble top lane, I have a Jace mid lane, both of them deal magic damage, and I have a Rakan support who mostly deals magic damage. It's not too important though, but what this allows them to do is, if I go AP here as well, and Kai'Sa also deals like half AP damage, it is super easy for them to just build magic resist, and especially Merc Treads, because we have a lot of CC, so if they go Merc Treads, they basically don't ever die into us. So that's why I decided to go 80. I also decided to go 80 because it's Seraphine, and if I don't kill the Seraphine, my team is never going to win a 5v5 against their team. So I hope that makes sense. Now, in this game, I went 80 because the enemy team are just really squishy. Kindred is super easy to kill, Azir is somewhat easy to kill, Xayah easy to kill, Seraphine also really easy to kill for 80, so in that case I can just go 80. In this game, for example, we have... enemy team is somewhat engaged heavy. They have Shen, they have Kiana, and they have Elisar. But they also have a Karthus. And in that game, I just kind of feel like playing AP. My team isn't very engage heavy, which is something that you can also look for. My team doesn't want to like try and jump in, so I don't have to follow up my team jumping in. So we can play it safe, we can play for poke, we can play for, you know, lane control and stuff. And I think that's a safe choice here to go AP. Now we are going to skip over the tank game, because that's not part of the video. But yeah, another game for example. Here I went 80 Shaco. Again, the reason that is because, first of all, I have stronger early game. That means I can take out Evelynn. I can also gank this Yone, because he's in a range versus melee matchup. And I can kill this Jinx very easily. AP would have been okay-ish here too, because we have Lulu and Aphelios, and it's really easy to have them scale to late game and then heal for them with boxes and stuff. But I figured, because I want to take over the early game, that is why I went to 80 Shaco here. Obviously, as you can see, even though I gave you these 3 pinpoints, it still depends on other things as well. But I can't go over every single scenario and every single little detail, you know, that I take into consideration when it comes to choosing the playstyle. But that's why I go over these, you know, games to hopefully make you understand why I go AP or why I go 80. Let's do one more. Let's do this game. Right here they have Garen, they have Hecarim, they have Yone, they have Leona. All of these champions want to run into you, want to engage into you. And in that case, it's just a very clear AP game. My team doesn't have a lot of AP damage, quite the opposite actually. They have a lot of 80 damage. And we have Ezreal, Senna, who both want to poke. So honestly, giving them peel with AP Shaco and, you know, basically stopping them from engaging onto our carries is the safe choice here. So I hope you guys do understand the difference between AP and 80 Shaco now. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section down below. You can also join my Discord. I'm pretty much always available on there. So if you have any questions, just go to the Shaco Talk channel. And if I'm not online, there's probably a bunch of other Shaco mates that are willing to help. I do also have a Twitch channel if you're interested in watching some live gameplay of me playing on either my Grandmaster accounts or on random Smurfs to, you know, try and test some builds. Then I would highly appreciate if you could check it out and give me a follow. If not, that's also okay. I will probably see you guys in my next video, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.